Today is a good day. Today is the day Planet Zoo announces its first ever biome DLC pack. It's a wetland DLC pack, talking about animals from the wetlands. What animals are we getting in this? We're going to be getting the capybara, the platypus, the Asian small-clawed otter, the spectacled caiman, the wild water buffalo, the red-crowned crane, the Nile Lechwe, and the Danube crested newt. That is a lot of animals. And we're going to be talking about all of them, so let's get into it. The capybara is the biggest rodent in the world. It lives in the Amazon rainforest and is around the size of a small child. Yes, a rodent is that big. A rodent which is a relative to the hamster, the rabbit, the guinea pig, the rat, the mouse, the gerbil, all of those. As you can see, it lives in some sort of like a tropical type area, like a tropical place. So, and you might even, if I look closely, I can see some things that look quite temperate like things. So, I feel like it's probably gonna be like a temperate forest, a rainforest, and an aquatic as the biomes for it. So that's the capybara. It's gonna be very interesting. This picture shows a capybara as a walkabout animal. The platypus. A platypus is a monotreme, which is a type of mammal which lays eggs. There are only two monotremes, the echidna and the platypus. The platypus is a mammal, it's a rather small mammal, medium sized I'd say, for a small mammal, that lives in Australia. The platypus has been waited for in the community for a long time because of how interesting it is. Like, what is a platypus? It's a mammal that lays eggs. It lives in the water and it has venomous spurs on its feet. So people have been excited for the platypus because of how like unique and interesting it is. Like, who wouldn't want a platypus in their zoo? So the platypus is the second one. Also, it was also quite a lot of these animals is even admitted on the page on Steam. Most of the animals here are like voted and fan favourite ones. The capybara, the platypus, the Asian small-clawed otter, which we're going to say next. So yes, this is probably going to be a very popular DLC pack because of how much it listens to its fans. The Asian small-clawed otter is the second type of otter in the game, other than a giant otter. It lives in... I'm going to need a book to help me with this. Oh yeah, Asia. The Asian small-clawed otter, which lives in Asia, is a type of otter. So obvious. So this is probably going to be... The thing I've noticed is that unfortunately quite a lot of these are just like reskins and copies of other animals. Like, the capybara seems to be, and the capybara and the platypus seems to be like original. Like the otter, the caiman, the buffalo, the lechwe. They seem to be reskinned off of other animals. It's still cool though. It's still cool either way. The Asian small-clawed otter became popular because of a mod. Frontier developments, the people who made the game, don't really support mods. So it shows how much they care about their fans, that even though they don't support something, if they know that the fans like something on that thing, they'll put it in their game anyway. Next up is quite a controversial one. The spectacled caiman. Loads of people say that they would rather like a critically endangered crocodilian to promote like conservation stuff. Although I actually kind of disagree. I think that it is not only a common animal in zoos, but it's also like we can't really do much in originality here. Every single crocodilian, every single type of them is in the game. Alligator, gharial, crocodile, caiman. Every single one of them is already in the game. And plus, people normally like reptiles. There are quite a few reptiles we could use, like crocodile lizards. you know, stuff like that. Maybe another monitor. But it's still not that bad. Like crocodilians are still cool. Still cool that you probably will find something useful to do with them. Like then it's sure it's not original. They could have done better, but it's not the worst. They could have done something that crocodilian that no one knows about, isn't endangered or anything like that, isn't popular in zoos, pretty boring, and is very, very not very fun to play with. So this is probably the best they could do out of bad. I wouldn't say it's, in my opinion, it's not bad, but I can see why people think that. In my opinion, this is the best bad out of many, many bads. The wild water buffalo. This is a buffalo that lives in the water, and it lives in Asia. It's also known as the Asian buffalo, the Asiatic buffalo, and the wild Asian buffalo. These are found near Southeast Asia and the Indian subcontinent. These are probably like a bit more like they're not really, they don't really fit with most other animals of its kind. Like, you know, like how a lot of like African herbivores, like you know, there's like loads of them. Like you can put black wildebeest, giraffes, zebras, all in the same enclosure, warthogs, everything like that. Considering that the only thing they'll probably get is like in Indian rhinos. That they're probably not going to be that they are big, but they're not probably going to be useful for like big enclosures. They're still cool though. Like you can make a pretty little lake enclosure, and you can put them in there, and that would be quite cool. So not the best option you could have picked, the wild water buffalo, but they're definitely quite good. It could be better, but it's quite good. The red-crowned crane is an omnivorous crane that can live for quite a while. It can live for around 50 years in captivity. It's endangered, and it's well known in like places like Japan and stuff like that. You may have noticed quite a few of these animals are like in places like tropical places like South America and Asia and that. It's a bit interesting, really. And this does mean that another animal that's probably requested by fans a lot is the grey crown crane. And we may actually get this one. We may actually get it because we have the red crown crane. So the red crowned crane is probably gonna be like the flamingos. It's not gonna be as like big population, stuff like that. It's probably gonna be a bit less than that. But it's probably going to be very similar to a flamingo, like an Asian flamingo. So, yeah, I think the red crown crane would be quite good, especially since we haven't gotten a bird in the game for a while. Last one was a year and a half ago with the cassowary. Next up is a unique animal. This is the endangered Nile Lechwe. It's a type of antelope which lives in water, which is very surprising. You wouldn't expect that from antelope. There are quite a lot of antelopes in the game, and antelopes are quite useful in the game. People quite like the antelopes in the game, like sable antelope, springbok, Thompson's gazelle. They're all quite useful. People like them in the game. So I think if you want to have an antelope enclosure, but you want to have it like unique, you can have this. It's a type of antelope that lives in water. Like, how much cooler can you get with an antelope? I mean, you can get a bit cooler, like an antelope that flies or swims in lava. But yeah, the Nile Lechwe is quite cool, and it's quite well known in zoos. The website that I'm getting this information from is actually none other than the San Diego Zoo website. So yes, it's going to be quite quite a popular animal. So I'm quite excited for this because I've never really heard of them before. I've heard of Lechways, but I just knew they were there. Really. So yes, I'd like to I can get to learn a bit more about these interesting antelopes. Although I've seen some pictures in the Danube Crested Newt. Although it's quite small, it looks like it'd stand out quite a lot. It's like this really shiny black thing. I, I'm I'm gonna like look at a picture that I'm gonna put up now, and because I need to see a bit more about them. Because from the picture I saw, they didn't really seem to have a crest. So yeah. So as you can see from this picture, it looks more like a little. It looks more like a little Spinosaurus. Although I can see why they're called crested. No, they didn't really look that crested to me. They just like they had a little spine on their back. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed today's video talking about DLC pack things and what we're gonna expect. Also, I noticed a pattern that no one has brought up yet. I'm surprised I have to. There's a pattern. Every single DLC that is released is themed on the season it's in. Think of the spring DLCs. South America Pack 2020, Southeast Asia 2021, Wetland Pack 2022. They're all like kind of like spring, like tropical, happy, green. Think of the summer ones, Australia 2020 and Africa and South America, North America 2021. They're quite warm, happy, like desert, I guess. I guess a sort of an exception for the North America one. But I guess it's sort of in the middle because it also fits with the winter ones, which are, it's not a surprise. 2019, Arctic. 2020, aquatic. And Europe for 2021. So you can see it's more like a wintery, like cold, icy, cold theme. You know, like that. Watery. So, I'd like to see what we're going to be getting in the summer and autumn and winter, both, I guess. So comment down below what you think we're going to be getting next, and I'll see you next video. Bye.